what they don't want me to post. You know, people have these ridiculous. That's usually a conspiracy theorist title. I like to make fun of people that do stuff like that by saying the one where I wrote Joe Rogan and Jordan B. Peterson and all their fans get destroyed. And sometimes that gets more people to look at it and listen to the 3 minute point. And if it's different than their programming of reality, which is wrong, they can't even handle 3 minutes. But I gotta say, I would be remiss in my responsibilities as an Homo sapien if I did not say that Canada was, like every other nation of the world, very much one that engages in denial as its national pastime. You know, we could say every, should be in the Olympics, every, during this Anthropocene speeding up this year very noticeably, is that I think every national pastime or official sport or hobby in every country is denial. So I wanted to say that, guys, if you are waiting for governments to solve problems, governments that maybe have good intentions but are very much tied into the industries that have helped speed up the Anthropocene, industries that are strong today because of you, right? You, the norm, the majority, have always been the villains of history. You can point at this finger, historical figure here or there, but they only became the mascot of this type of inhuman behavior because the norm allowed it. The norm made it so. So, you know, so as the norm, you should not expect the people that you help create that don't care about you, and if they did, they don't have the skill sets or they don't have the collaborative relationships in place to take care of you guys. So it is very likely, during El Nino, that is more than 90% certain will be a physical force affecting the northern hemisphere in a very strong way. And of course, it adds up to other things that have been accelerating as well, and they're all getting together. And there's also solar cycles in there, and there's also other things that people that don't even talk about climate help do, such as wars, that exploding things and feeding the industry of war, does add to the problem. So you should know that even in Canada, you should have, if you have access to a vehicle and a bag ready. And it should not be, I wanted to say, because they don't say this on the news, it should not be too much stuff in your vehicle or a trailer where in an emergency situation your vehicle would be probably overheating. It might have a lot of things blocking the air filters. You might even decide at the last minute to carry extra neighbors who haven't planned for things because of their denial, your national favorite pastime. And you won't make it if you try to save everything. So what's important to you? So these are things you should do with your kids, with your families. And if you haven't put all your pictures in one place, if you haven't put them on digital formats, do it, before fires get close to you. Do a tune-up on your vehicle. Learn what to do if suddenly, make sure you don't put things over your spare tire when you load your vehicle. And make sure you practice changing quickly your spare tire and knowing that a spare tire is not meant usually to go over 80 kilometers per hour under ideal conditions. But if you've loaded your vehicle and the cement is extremely hot, again, you weren't that prepared, right? You haven't understood the concept of the physical forces at play in these natural disasters that are people primate made. So as much as you want to blame people now, people are working on things, but that won't work on the right things because things are wrong for them up there. That's why we call it the Anthropocene, because things are wrong for you up here everywhere in every member of the species that I interact with. So please, because if I see a family die in a fire, and I study or hear about the situation, and I know they didn't have to die, and it's because of the bad decisions of parents, that say there's nothing I could have done, and their kids die, I'm sorry, I'm going to know how much blame to assign to the parent as compared to a politician or a fire chief or who's in charge of that emergency department or whatever. So guys, and I'm not saying everybody for themselves, because if you act like this, then yeah, maybe you're the ones that deserve to burn in the fires. So you will need to help people along the way who are not planning well either. So account for this, account for space or extra room. Like if, for example, it's a truck you'll be living with and your kids fit in the back, don't load the entire truck. You might need to put a neighbor or two with one of their bags in there. And if you do pull a 3-bedroom camping trailer, and the hotels don't want to give up and they have these silly excuses for why they don't make room or force a group that has 6 different rooms to stay in 2 rooms and they know each other, so that there's room for you, because hotels won't, partake in the concept of community. They're capitalists, and governments will be too afraid to force the concept of community onto them. They've never done it before. Why would they do it now? They've got so much on their plate. They don't need to be assassinated by, what big business might hire in a way to assassinate them, whether it's physically the right word or it is politically speaking. So people start making plans, and the winter is going to be bad in Canada and North America, and so is next summer. And it's just starting. So don't say ça va bien aller or everything will be better soon. And there'll be also new pathogens, new viruses. I mean, mosquitoes are adapting. Mosquitoes are something that we've actually helped evolve to choose us with our lifestyles, with the way we design cities poorly and run them poorly. Mosquitoes that were generalists, meaning that they were happy to be in a forested area and go feed on a variety of animals. Many of them have specialized to focus on us. And it's not because a meteorite fell. It's because we don't plan long term, because we need to learn a lot of stuff to plan long term, and we're actually too intellectually lazy, even your most brilliant people, to do this.